Hello, on today's show we have a representative of an organization of off-duty officers helping and serving the Philadelphia Latino community. Stay tuned to Protecting Our Community. Hello and welcome to Protecting Our Community. I'm your host, Bryan Coyle. Our goal is to improve the quality of living by giving you the knowledge of the agencies and organizations that are here to help you. We'll provide speakers from local, state, and federal agencies, as well as community leaders, by providing you with useful information to help protect yourself and your community. On today's show, we have a member of the law enforcement organization called S.A.L.E.A, which is an abbreviation for the Spanish American Law Enforcement Association. We have in our studio today Edward Lopez Sr, President of S.A.L.E.A. Eddie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Eddie, first I want to say, I want to commend all the members in S.A.L.E.A for being active members in the community. I attended some of those events, and I want the viewers to understand that the time and energy that you guys put into supporting the community and the kids in the community it's awesome.
Thank you. It does take a lot of time, but we do it with our hearts, and that's the reason why I do it.
So Ed, can you tell us how long you've been in law enforcement?
Been a correction officer for 6 months, from '89 to '90. Then in '90 I joined the Philadelphia Police Department. So a total of 29 and 3 months, 29 years and 3 months and working for the city.
Oh, great. So how and why did you choose a career in law enforcement?
Well, you know, I grew up in South Bronx, New York, and as a kid I've always wanted to be a police officer. Then I moved to Philadelphia when I was about 11 years old, and then up and down, I didn't want to be, then I wanted to be, and as I got older I knew my calling was to help people.
All right. Did you ever have any family members in law enforcement?
No, I'm actually the first police officer, and then I actually, my older brothers followed me.
Oh.
So I had my older brother who's a corporal in the 9th District, and then I had a younger brother who joined the police department too, who left Philadelphia and is now in Florida. Okay. So I started the trend.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about S.A.L.E.A. How and when did S.A.L.E.A start?
Well, S.A.L.E.A started, it was not called S.A.L.E.A in 1969. It was started by 7 Hispanic officers, and it was called SAPA, Spanish American Police Association, Spanish American Police Association. In 1969, they got into a house, 7 officers, and they decided they wanted to help more Hispanic get on the job, because at that time there wasn't a lot of Hispanics on the job. And when the increase of Hispanic moving into Philadelphia, they found the need to create the organization. So in '69 they started it with seven members. And back in 1983, it was then changed to S.A.L.E.A for the purpose to open up to everybody, not just Hispanic, Afro-American, American, whatever race. S.A.L.E.A does not look at just one race. Yeah, we started as a Hispanic organization, but now we have a lot of Afro-Americans joining us, Americans, because they like what we stand for. And I run my organization, myself and my board, as we're a family. And we looked out for our members, the police officers, and you've seen in the community. We treat everybody like a family.
Yes. And so what type of requirements does one need to be a member of S.A.L.E.A?
Well, to be a full-time member, you have to have arresting powers. Okay. So you have to have the powers to make an arrest. If you don't, like prison guards, we do have memberships, correction officers, they will be associated members. Civilians can be associated members. Okay. The difference is that you won't have the voting powers to vote a president in or out. Okay.
So how many members would you say you have in S.A.L.E.A?
Well, again, like I said, in '69 we started 7. When I took over in 2014, we had 240. Since myself and my board We are over 500 plus now, and we're growing big.
Oh, that's great.
And we'll also mention too, we're also part of the National Coalition of Latino Officers, S.A.L.E.A, which I end up being the vice president too, which I represent the East Coast, over 10,000 officers.
So Ed, you're pretty busy with both organizations, and you're doing great work. How's that coming with your family life?
A good understanding wife.
I'm sure.
And my kids. It's funny you say that. I just left here. I left the house, and my little son is like, S.A.L.E.A again? He's always questioning, my kids. Or, I mean, my wife stays back. They're the ones that question me all the time, again. But they're understanding. They're with me, and I always take my oldest son. If you remember, you always seen him since he was little.
Yes.
I've taken him, and he's helped in the community and help the kids. So he's now 17, and he does a radio show every Saturday now with Eddie Desimore.
Oh, that's awesome. So with S.A.L.E.A, how many times do the members meet?
We meet once a month, the membership itself, but myself and my board, we can meet 2-3 times a week. It depends how busy we are and the time of the year.
So what made you become a member of S.A.L.E.A, and especially on the board?
Well, the funny thing is that S.A.L.E.A get me get on the job. And just like a lot of Hispanics back in the day, Hispanics were very hard to get on the job back in the day. As sad as to say, it was hard. Now it's better. I mean, we got a great commissioner. The city pushes it more, but back in the day, it was very hard to get on, even when I got on. So S.A.L.E.A helped me get on the job. So I just became a member, and did I ever think I was going to be a president or wanted to be a board? No. It was my calling again. I saw it. It was like God telling me, listen, this is what you're meant to do, and I've been doing it. I've been on the board for over 22 years now.
Wow, 22 years.
And that's starting as Sergeant of Arms, Treasurer, Vice President, now President. This is my 6th year as President.
So you're a well-dedicated officer as well as gentleman.
Thank you.
I could contest to that. You being involved in law enforcement and with S.A.L.E.A, what are some of the major concerns or struggles with the Latino community when it comes to crime?
Well, we get a lot of, especially after the Hurricane Maria, you have a lot of Hispanics coming from Puerto Rico that don't know English. Okay. There's a lot of organizations out there, Concilio, S.A.L.E.A, that go out there and try to help to settle down, and with 5 minutes. So S.A.L.E.A's point is we try to get more people on the job, Hispanics, and we help out the community. And when the community leaders need our help, they reach out to me, and I go to the schools, to the churches, and we do police law enforcement forums, and we get a better understanding between the youth and the police officers, where we stand and what we do, and understand them or why they do what they do. And we try at the end to break that, to build that bridge together, that we're not your enemy and they're not our enemy.
Absolutely correct. We have some pictures here from S.A.L.E.A, and can we get those pictures up, please? And can you just go through some of the pictures and what's taking place?
So this was in April of 2018. This was right after Hurricane Maria. This mission here, this was our 2nd mission, and this mission here was to rebuild 6 homes, 9 days. It ended up being, we lost 3 days dealing with Home Depot over there. It was a bad experience because Puerto Rico is more laid back than here, states. But after we got situated and everything, we rebuilt 6 homes in 6 days, and we did it with working 12 to almost 14 hours a day in the rain and in the 90+ degrees.
So it looks like with those pictures, you're replacing a roof. So what were the conditions like over there?
Very dangerous. The roofs were deteriorating, the wood underneath. We had to walk, it was like walking on eggshell. I took one of our members, George Soto from Highway Patrol. He's a great carpenter, and he did an excellent work. The firefighter from, we went with different organizations in New Jersey. The Hispanic firefighters in New Jersey, and they did a great job. And we got together. It was tough at the beginning. We didn't know each other, but once we got together, we were knocking the houses out, and the conditions were really bad. The one house that you saw, the day of the storm, the lady lost the whole house, the whole roof. The day we finished, it poured rain, and she cried in front of us, and it was a joy to see her, to be able to move back in.
Wow. So how were their homes picked?
Well, it's like now we have a group going there now, and what they do is they survey to see, income. We're not going to give somebody who's making $60,000, $70,000 a year, we're not going to go fix your house. We look at the houses that are really destroyed and who's in needs. One of the missions that we did when we went over there, we met one of the older ladies. She was like in the 80s years old. She lived by herself. So something like that we were. She's by herself, she's 80 years old, we will fix her home.
Okay.
So they're about to go in this month, next month, and do the assessment and pick another 6 homes. And this year in April, I'll be back again rebuilding homes again.
So who's providing the funds for repairs and for your transportation and housing over there?
Well, again, the organization's from, it's called PRAC in New Jersey. Myself, S.A.L.E.A. We have a website up. It's on our website. You go for Puerto Rico. If you go to our website, it's to the end. You hit more, and you can donate to S.A.L.E.A.
Is it like a GoFundMe?
Yes, it's a GoFundMe. So it's a GoFundMe, I'm sorry. So you donate money there. We're a 501c3, so any money you donate, it's tax deductible.
Okay.
So all the money that we raise, we take it down there. Some of the houses that we fixed that you saw in the pictures, I gave money so they can buy paint, new doors, new windows. So that's how the GoFundMe helps us a lot. And so I end up using some of our own money membership too.
That's great of you guys going down there and helping out. What'd you do for like housing for yourself? Were you in the hotels or tents?
I'm glad you asked that question. People think sometimes we go down there. None of that money we used down there. The only thing we used was for food. But we slept at a fire station in a room, probably not good with numbers. I'll say 15 by 15, maybe 20 by 20. About 6 bunk beds. Actually about 10, I'm sorry, about 10 bunk beds. And we all slept in one room there with 1 bathroom. So, but we knew we went there, the job was to help. We didn't go there for vacation. And we knew we were not there to go there in a resort.
Wow, that is amazing. Anything else you could share about your experience with Puerto Rico?
Well, yeah, the first time we went in January. As we know, Hispanics celebrate Christmas in 3 Kings. So that's January 6th. So we went in January the first time where we went with, and we met up with Maria Quiones Sanchez, councilwoman from District 7. We met up with her and we gave out food, water, and we gave out toys from S.A.L.E.A and C.L.O., who really, we went behind them, and S.A.L.E.A was just part of that. And we went and we gave the kids food, water, gift cards. S.A.L.E.A, the money we raised, we gave out $100 gift cards to Walmart so they can buy water and supplies because the water wasn't good over there.
I'm sure they really appreciate the gifts that you brought over there.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be back with S.A.L.E.A. So please stay with us.
According to statistics, 40 million adults suffer from depression or anxiety. 1 in 4 college students are affected by this as well. You never know who is going through something, so you should always be kind to one another. kindness can go a long way. It might even save a life.
Welcome back to Protecting Our Community. I'm your host, Bryan Coyle. I've been talking with Edward Lopez Sr, President of S.A.L.E.A, about the great work they do in our community. So Ed, you talked about the situation down in Puerto Rico, about all the great work you did down here. But I would like to talk about all the great work you do here in the city of Philadelphia. And I know we have some pictures. If we could get those pictures up. So can you explain what we have here?
So this was Three Kings we did this year in 5th Street, 2600 5th Street. As you see, this be one of my members on the board, Sammy Sanchez, who does a lot for the community too, for kids with autism too. Then you got Adam, who just went to the 25th District. So we played Three Kings, and what we did was we walked around the community. We sang, in Puerto Rico, they sing, and they do, it's called the paranda. And then we went around, we came into the community, and we gave out toys to the kids in the community. Most of these kids are handpicked and stuff like that, don't have much money and stuff like that. So it's a good thing to do this, and it touches them. And sometimes they tell you a story, it's like, I never had a toy, or thank you, and it's really touching.
Wow, yeah, when you see kids out there suffering and they don't have much, when you give just that one toy, you can see the joy in their eye.
Yes.
And that's a great feeling to have.
Yes, this was like probably our third one we did from 2018 to 19, during the Christmas, December, and January. It was a very busy time for us. So
we have a few more pictures. What's this about?
So this was a fifth in Allegheny. There's a senior citizen, the rec center there. Again, this was a partnership with Maria Quiñones Sanchez, and we got a paranda, again, for the senior citizens. They love it. And the purpose S.A.L.E.A and Maria Quiñones got into this was we didn't want to forget the senior citizens.
Absolutely.
I believe in giving back to the kids and everything, but I'm also a big believer in, since I became president, that in my board, that we wanted to give back to the senior citizens, to say, hey, listen, we didn't forget you. And they love it. And this is our third year we've been doing it now since I became president. One of my members, again, it's not about me, it's a team effort. Maria Ortiz Rodriguez, who's a lieutenant in the police department, it was her idea, and I tell her, look, let's do it. So my members, they bring the ideas to me, and we rock and roll, and we do it as a team effort. It's about a team, not about me.
Right, I totally agree, and I've been to a few of those things with the senior center, and the joy in these seniors' eyes that somebody's actually talking to them, dancing with them, singing with them, it brings life back into them.
Yes, and especially in North Philly. You go down there, some of these senior citizens' home, you go, and it's a little dreary, But when you go in there, you liven them up, and we feed them, and we dance with them, and we get involved. And this year, again, was awesome because, we have Captain Javier Rodriguez, who's there. He's from the neighborhood. I'm from the neighborhood, from North Philly. So to give back
So there's that real connection right there.
Yes. Again, I grew up in New York. I came here, I was about 11, and I lived in Knife and Pike for 20-something years. And to go back into the community, to give back, as you was a kid, it's awesome.
And I think a lot of people don't realize, people in law enforcement, they don't realize a lot of law enforcement officers come from a lot of different types of neighborhoods, and they wanted to help the neighborhood. They want to do better for the community. And especially when you give back in that way, hopefully people will recognize.
Well, you know what, and you're right. And that's why we go into the schools. Again, like I said, December was busy. We went to Stetson. We went to another school, I forget offhand. But we went to Stetson, and we rewarded the kids, the honor students. We gave them watches. Again, one of my members, came up with the idea, and you know, and we went into the schools and we gave them watches, and we gave them gift cards, and we gave them lunch. And the whole idea was that to say, listen, you're doing good, do not give up. Just because you may go to the school in the hood, where people say, or in bad neighborhoods, you can get out of it. I've got out of it. I grew up in the South Bronx in the projects. So when I go in there, I tell them my story. You know, I've seen the shootings, I've seen the killings, I've seen the drugs. And if I can get at it, you can get out of it. And we got a couple of my officers, Jessica Martinez, who's on my board. She's great in the neighborhood. She's in PAL now.
Yes.
She's at Masher in Allegheny. She works with the kids every day, and she tries to send that message to them. So we work real hard with the kids, and you know, that's one of S.A.L.E.A's. It's in our mission, it's in our bylaws, and we will not give it up. We will always be in the community.
So we got some pictures here. It looks like, is this from PAL?
Yes, this is PAL. This is, again, Jessica Martinez, one of my members, came up with an idea. Can we do a flag football with the kids? So another member of mine is Jason Hernandez, who plays with the Blue Flames, Philadelphia Police football team. We got the kids, we did the shirts. Maria Quiones again got involved with us. And we did also a youth law enforcement forum. And what that is again what I explained earlier, it gets the cops and the kids to communicate. Then we role play, we make them the police officers, and then we'll act like we're the bad kids. And then they see how hard it is to make an arrest. It's a great thing. I've been involved with that now for probably about 12 years. And listen, if my theory is if I can save 2 kids from that experience, or 1 or 5 or 10, then it pays off. Because some of these kids come with a hard attitude, and then they realize, they see, wow, this police officer, he's really down to earth, and he knows where we're coming from. And next thing you know, we become friends, we eat lunch together, we leave, and sometimes we'll play handball outside together, and we don't forget. We'll give them our numbers, and they'll call us back if they need anything.
So can you share like a particular story, not saying use a name or anything, but just about a situation that you were able to pull a kid out from the dumps and help him or her to continue to make something out of themselves?
Well, there's an organization called Mimic, Men in Motion in the Community. Eddie Desimore is the president of that. A long time ago, probably about 6 years ago, there was this kid that was in trouble, and he was going the bad route. So Eddie took him in, talked to him, asked us, S.A.L.E.A, can we help out? I got Sammy Sanchez involved in it, who also does boxing with me and also trains MMA. So we got the kid involved in it, and Sammy got him, and we paid for the uniform and everything, and we got him in, and he got off the streets, and he loved it.
Wow,
So that was a good story.
That is an excellent story, and hopefully you and the members of S.A.L.E.A could make more stories like that.
We have a lot more. We're never giving up. We're always in the community.
And I know you have a big heart, and I know you're going to continue to do it as much as you can.
I'm not going to stop. I'm going to probably go for another 2-year run, and then we'll see what happens after that.
So before we close, in the last 29 years, S.A.L.E.A lost 4 members to the course of their duties as law enforcement officers. So at this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and remember them, that they will not be forgotten as they protected our community. So we have some pictures. So can you explain about some of these officers?
Isabel Nazario, we went to school together. It's sad. She was a great officer, great friend, great mother. Sad to lose her. Tragic the way it was.
Very tragic.
Jose Ortiz, good member, was in the 25th district, chasing a guy. Unfortunately, he got hit by another patrol officer, and from his injuries, he passed away. Joaquin Montego, sad story, he was off duty. You know, there was a guy in the street shooting his gun up. He tried to go out there and help the public and help the civilians out there, and unfortunately ended his life. Great member too. And we just was over his family's house, and we did a paranda, the Christmas carol at his wife's house.
So,
Brian Lorenzo.
yes.
And then Brian Lorenzo, the last one, good friend of mine. We were on the highway patrol together and on the drill team together. Great guy. As we all know, he was on 95 and a drunk DUI, wrong way, ended his life. Great family man, great man.
And I know a lot of those, all those officers there, they did a lot of community service, and
Yes.
they were a positive role model for any young individual, even
Yes.
adults. They did a lot of good in the community, as well as in S.A.L.E.A. So what else can we, before we close, what else would you recommend to the audience out there?
Well, police officer, if you want to be a police officer, I've always said it's got to be in your heart if you want it. Personally, my opinion has always been, don't do it for the money, do it because you want to help people. And just understand that police officers are here to help. And I'll tell you, 99.9% of the Philadelphia Police Department are great officers. You're always going to get one bad apple here and there, but we go out there and do the job. I worked with good cops and everything. But before we close, I'd like to say, this year is going to be a big year for S.A.L.E.A. This is our 50th anniversary, one of the longest Hispanic organizations in the country. We're doing a gala October 12th, 2019 at the Sugar House. We're going to represent the past, the present, the future, and some of the money raised from that gala is going to go to the veterans in Valley Forge to redo the monument there.
That's awesome.
That's, again, we give back to the community.
Well, Eddie, thank you for being on the show. If you are a law enforcement officer and interested in becoming a volunteer with the S.A.L.E.A or a citizen who wants to help with a donation with S.A.L.E.A hurricane relief, please check out their website at www.salea.org or give them a call at 215-455-3369. I would like to thank our guest, President of S.A.L.E.A,
Thank you.
Eddie Lopez, and thank you, the viewers, for tuning in and being part of the solution with protecting our community. So until next time, remember, protecting our community is everyone's business. Keep those eyes and ears open.